Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with Miss C. I am super excited. I think I'm excited every week, right? Every time I do a video, I'm excited. Um, Super excited to be doing this video. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks, a lot going on. However, I do enjoy doing these videos and I do enjoy kind of just going through life and then sharing what I'm learning through answering your questions. And so I don't want to stop, right? So it's important that I keep moving, even though things around us are happening, that we still stay committed and still stay focused on all the things that we're trying to do in our lives, and try to keep a balance. I am the queen of saying balance, balance, balance. It must be the Libra in me because I'm always trying to find the balance. And I swear, when one thing goes, whoop, then I feel like everything goes whoop whoop for me. So, um, so apologies that I haven't had a video up in a while, but we are back. I am here, and I'm just gonna jump right in to the video, or to the question that I received. I think it's a good question. That I got, and I think it happens for a lot of us in life, and it's a good thing to really think about in terms of friendships and what's going on in our worlds and how to really know when to stop doing something. So the question is, how do you know when to stop pouring into a one-sided friendship? And how do you learn not to feel bad for doing what is best for you? And I think that's a really good question, right? I think a lot of us have gone through periods or friendships where we felt like, we were getting the short end of the stick, maybe, and probably stayed in some friendships a little longer than we should have, or had some friendships that just totally ended, and we were like, whoa, what happened there, right? We might have been the one sided other side friend. They felt we were one sided, right? Could be. I think it's important to, even before we even answer that, is to discuss or to even ask yourself what you consider to be a one-sided friendship, right? I think that's important to know. What is a one-sided friendship? What does that look like? What does that consist of? What does that mean to you? And I think it's important because I feel like everyone has their own idea or their own definition of a one-sided friendship. And so you would have to determine for yourself what you consider one-sided. For me, I would say, um, if I'm always giving or doing or bringing my best to the friendship or the relationship, and the other person is not, I consider that to be one sided. However, I do think there's a little to it a bit, which I'm going to talk about. Um, the next thing I think is important to think about is, are we looking at who our friends are and accepting them as who they are, or are we expecting ourselves out of others? And I think that's important because I think a lot of times people are disappointed in friendships because I do this and I do that kind of deal, and other people don't do the same thing. And so we are disappointed because we feel like we're not getting back what we're putting in necessarily. So it's important to think about, what are you really expecting from your friends, and are you really looking at your friends for who your friends are and who and what they bring to the table. um I think it kind of goes into, like, there are different friends for different things, right? Some people have a crew that they party with. That's your party friends, right? When it's time to party, you call these people because you know they're going to be down for whatever, wherever, however, like, y'all are going to get it in. No joking around, right? And then you have your business friends. And when it's time to do something professional or entrepreneurial, you call them because that's what you guys do together, right? And you may have a friend who, when things are going bad or you need words of encouragement, you may call that friend, right? You may have another friend who is more financially stable than you are, and when stuff breaks left for you and you find yourself in a bind, you may call on this friend, right? Because these are the things that these people bring to the table, right? And so sometimes it's important to make sure that you understand who your friends are and the role that they play in your life to make sure that it's not necessarily one-sided and that you're looking at them for who they are. Now, what I will say with that is, yes, people are who they are. And yes, we should accept people as who they are, not try to change them, right? However, just because somebody is giving you something does not mean that you are required to take it or to put up with it. Just because that is how that person is does not mean that you have to keep them around you and in your life. If this is who this person is showing you that they are, if they are doing things that do not reflect the vision or the idea of what you see in a friendship or in your future or in your circle of people around you, then you can remove them. Easy peasy. There's just because they're when people say, well, I'm just that way, that's just who I am. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you be that, baby. Be that. However, I don't have to put up with that. And in that, they can still stay them and find people who think what they do is fine. And you are able to remove someone and open up a space or a spot in your life for someone who's more aligned with you and what you're trying to do. So I think it's time to stop pouring into one-sided friendships when they're not a reflection of where you're headed or what you're doing. When you are starting to feel, when you're not feeling at peace in the friendship anymore, if there is resentment building, if you're feeling taken advantage of, um, frustrations when you deal with these people, I think those are signs that, it may be time to stop pouring so much into that friendship. And I definitely think that the key thing, because, right, we have friends who we've known for 20 plus years. We've known them for 15 years. We knew them since middle school. We've grown up with them, kind of deal. I think it's important that people stop looking at the length of time you've known someone and start really looking at the true character of the person, right? Because who they were when you met them is 9 times out of 10 not who they are now, right? They've grown, they've matured. Maybe they haven't grown, maybe they have not matured, right? And so it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person because you're maturing and growing and they are still stuck where they are at the time. It doesn't make them bad or you better, right? It just means you guys are at different places. So if you're able to continue the friendship with the understanding that this is just where they're at and they still are a good person at heart, and I still believe that, they genuinely have my best interest at heart at all things, at all times, in my face and behind my back, then I think it's okay to just maybe not talk so much, right? Now they're a friend you talk to once a month or every couple of months kind of situation. However, the one key thing I would say that for me that I'm learning now when evaluating friendships and relationships and what's worth fighting for and what's not is, do these people, do these friends, do these relationships add value to your life? Are they adding value? If they are not adding value to your life, that is when you should stop pouring into that friendship. That is when you should stop pouring into those relationships. When they're no longer beneficially conducive and positive and uplifting and motivating and fun and exciting and giving and a two-way street, then that's when it's probably not a good idea to keep it going. If there's no true value to what they bring to the table, what they are offering you, they're almost like dead weight, right? Because you're kind of always trying to figure out how to play with them and where they're coming from and how you feel like you need to move with them. And in real friendships that are two-way streets or both parties care and both people are genuine, if you don't have to wonder if this is going to offend or, ooh, can I invite? Do I have to, ooh, I'm going to have to explain or, question the motives of it. If you're having to question the motives and the intentions, the loyalty of your friend, that's one-sided. And I would say that's when it's time Another example of when it's time to stop being friends with somebody, for sure. So, first, I would say, what does a one sided friendship look like to you? And then I would also ask, are you expecting yourself from these friendships? Or are you allowing people to bring what they have and who they are to the table in the friendship, and knowing that what they bring to the table adds value to you? Those are things to consider for sure. And my mom told me when I was younger, mom says a lot of stuff, right? And your parents say stuff, and you're like, whatever, you don't get it. I don't even understand that. That's stupid. But now I get it. One of the things she used to say is, if you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. And that's always stuck with me. It's actually quite an interesting story about that saying and me and my mom. But that actually has stuck, because we're not supposed to be trying to change people, right? We want to hopefully encourage them to be their best selves, help them reach their full potential, right? Really be there to support them on life's journey. And you're hoping that they're giving you that same thing back in the friendship, right? From a genuine place, from an honest place, from a real place, right? That's what you're hoping for. And so if that's not what you're getting from people, if you can't change them, then change the people. Stop dealing with them and get with some people who support you, who motivate you, who inspire you, who encourage you, who check on you, who, do the things that you envision in your mind that a friend looks like. That does that, right? Without you necessarily having to ask or tell them, that bothers me. Most times people know the shit that they do to you, that they're doing. They know what they're doing, right? And they're going to keep doing it as long as we allow it. Another good saying that people say, people can only do to you what you allow. And as long as we're going along with it, as long as we're allowing it, the people are going to just keep doing it. And of course, when you cut them off, then, they're going to act like, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, you're so petty and, so dramatic. Be petty and dramatic. Okay? Be petty and dramatic. Because if you have tried with a friend and you really are starting to feel like this just isn't working, I'm sorry that 10 years has gone and come and we are now at this place. If you decide, that you are going to mature in life, we can try it again. But until then, we have to be okay with cutting people off, to be honest. And it flows into the next question is, how do you learn to not feel bad for doing what is best for you? And the one thing I will say is, if you look around you, everybody is doing what's best for them. And a majority of people are not thinking about how that affects anybody else outside of them, themselves, their kids, their immediate family. Outside of that, your friends pretty much are not thinking about how their actions are affecting you. They're just doing them. And so with that mindset, I would say you should be doing you as well. Now, of course, there are some of us who do us and we still think about other people and we still think about how that will affect other people and what that will look like. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're not allowing that to hinder you from making the best decisions for yourself in all areas. And it's important, I would say, to really trust that the right people are going to be there, and to really trust that everything and every friendship, every relationship it has the potential to not be a lifelong thing, right? It's no love lost to the time and the memories and the adventures we've had together. It means we're moving in different directions at this time. And that happens in life. And I feel like we can't be afraid of that. We can't be afraid to take those chances and those risks, right? I think it's important to know that your decisions and you matter just as much as everybody else, right? You have got to do what's best for you. And if that hurts people's feelings, so be it. I was talking to a guy friend a little while back, and he's a single, and he was saying how he moves the way he moves because he is single. He doesn't have nobody to answer to. He does what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, because it's just him and that's how he can get down. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. A lot of us think about, oh, if I do this, then it may affect this person, or, ooh, how will that look, or how will it be viewed? And the truth is that when you're doing you and you're finding your own happiness and you're creating that lifestyle that you truly want, the thoughts of what everybody else thinks and what they're going to say start to reduce in your mind, right? Because who gives a damn what they say? I love this, what I'm doing. I love where I'm at, right? It's this is it. This is hidden for me. And that's what it's all about. And so we can't be caught up in, necessarily wondering or paying a lot of attention to what other people will think about what we're doing. We have to trust ourselves. We have to trust what we know. We have to trust what we feel. We have to trust the decisions that we're trying to make and really go for it, and not make the experience with friends that have come to an end or that are winding down in such a negative way. To really look back and say, you know what, I learned this from that person, or because of my friendship with that person, I did this, or I got to go here. I was able to whatever it was, because no matter what, they were in your life for a time and a season, and there was something to be gained or to learn from that relationship. And it just sometimes may be that it's time to grow, and also trust that you have given and provided something in that friendship as well, whether you were the financial friend, whether you were the party friend, whether you were the business friend, if you were the motivator friend. That's me. I'm the motivator friend. I'm the friend that you call when you're probably about to go take somebody's head off, and you kind of like, should I do it? I'm who you call for that, right? I'm gonna be mad with you. We're gonna, like, I know they didn't. Oh yes, let's do it. But then I'm also gonna walk you back down, right? That's the friend that I am. I'm her. That's me. And it's important to know who you are in the friendships, and trust that you're bringing something that's valuable to them as well. And if for some reason that they feel you're one-sided or not, then maybe they're not looking at it like the same question. Are they looking at you as who you are, or are they expecting themselves out of you, right? So I think it's just important to really be able to be honest with yourself, and to be, really clear about where you're going in life, and to be really appreciative about the time you have spent with people. Sometimes we don't have to cut people completely off. We can just distance ourselves a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just like when you are single and you and your friends go out all the time, right? And then your friends start having babies and stuff. And it's like, oh, we can't really hang out like we used to, right? Because they have kids now. And so you have to adjust, right? And so you're not my friend. Our friendship has changed. And if the friendship is important, we're going to work together through that change to make sure that it happens and that we stay connected together in life's journey. And if the both of you are doing that, then the friendship is worth saving. If that's not what's happening, then I would say don't be afraid to leave them in the rearview mirror, baby, and drive, drive, drive. Trust and believe you will meet people who are more like you, are more aligned to what you're looking for, and you will surely be able to take some lessons or some adventures or something positive from that friendship that you had with that person. Most definitely. Well, that's all I have today. I think those were great questions. Thank you for sending those in. I'm not going to say your name because I don't know if you wanted me to or not, although you did sign it. I do appreciate you for following, and I hope that gave you some insight a little bit, and that you're able to use some of the information to move forward. And I am looking forward to the next video. Again, if you have questions or would like my advice on something, please feel free to send me an email at thebecauselifestyle@gmail.com. Feel free to put it in the comments below. I'm also on Instagram at Chatting with Miss C. You can follow me there, or at the Because Lifestyle Chatting with Miss C on Instagram. And I will get to the questions as I can, for sure. We're back. I'm excited. And everybody have a great and awesome Saturday, and have a marvelous week ahead, and know that you are worth it. You are worth every bit of it, and don't stop believing it. Thank you.